Before the game starts, it's great when your players are excited to begin play, but no one is particularly thrilled by a 20-page system setting document telling everyone what the bloodlines of the local dukes are, or what you've renamed elves to make them feel fresh and new. You need to be excited too. Printouts might not do it for everyone. Plus, it's more paper at the table for them to lose their character sheet in while they're flailing around deciding what action to take. Maybe what your campaign needs is a trailer. If you've watched my previous videos about campaign prep, you'll know that I'm a big fan of doing less prep before you start. If not, wait until the end and I'll show you which videos to begin with. But I'm not actually advocating for no prep at all. I think good prep is fun. It's part of the game for the Gamemaster, and it shouldn't be a grind. It should be there to inspire you to Gamemaster like magic. And one of the things I love to make before the campaign is actually a perfect tool to call the table to order and silence all of the out of character chatter. I'll give you that later on in the video. Now, you might have one or two players who will play anything you run, but especially if you're going to be prizing players away from a beloved system onto something new and familiar, or you're putting together a new group, it can be really useful to give your players a rundown of what to expect. So often when I see people talk about their system setting documents, and then the videos they show this thick printed out stack of paper that looks like they're giving everyone homework. Here's the required reading. Yes, there will be a test. But what works better? It depends on your players and it depends on what you enjoy preparing. But for me, it's a sort of campaign trailer that pitches why the game is going to be so much fun and gives people a taste of what the system's going to be like. A couple of things first. Number one, when I say trailer, I don't mean a video. Unless you have a background in that and enjoy making those sorts of things, I mean more of a movie trailer mindset. We're going to show them the feel, the look, the flavour of what we're doing. We're going to give them an idea of how light or dark it is, how action-packed or slow and lyrical, the level of humour, those sorts of things. Second, tablets, laptops and phones. This is where people are looking at documents these days. They don't have to print them out. Can we please save some trees? And so if we're going to be doing this on a device that can do colour and a bit of movement, then why not do it as a presentation? And presentations don't need to look like they're an office budget forecast. What if the presentation has an implied in-game author? They might not have access to PowerPoint, but you can quote people who are NPCs in your setting. And if you've seen my video on maps, you'll know I'm a huge fan of using an in-game author to make sure your players can't really object when you're feeding them misinformation. And what if it's a packet, a physical folder or an email folder containing more than one thing, a guide to the setting, the quick start PDF for generating their character, a blank character sheet, some pictures for scene setting, maybe some extra special bits and pieces. I'll come to that in a second. What else can you include? Well, I think a game needs a name. Not just the name of the system, a name for the campaign itself. It sets the mood. It gives an evocative tone from the very beginning. Wanderhome, the wedding of the Apple Queen. That feels quite different to Shadowdark, werewolf, their wolf. It gives them something to immediately catch on to. Character creation information. Depending on what system you're using, it might be possible to fit some or all of the rules for that into a packet? And what about some extra things that, yes, maybe they could print out, like a name badge or an ID card or a Dungeon Delver's license? This is also where all of your session 0 information goes. So lines and veils, the X card, what happens when they skip a session, downtime rules, the proposed venue, the schedule, PDFs, and all of those. And this is, I think, important to do to make it feel like a game has already started. Make it feel fun. Give it an in-world look and feel. Here is a before and an after. Which one looks more fun? Which one are you more excited to sit down for? It's just fonts and colours. And you can also include some secret world building and sprinkle it on top. If you're quoting somebody's description of a location, you could put at the bottom, before he disappeared, he said, "There's definitely no goblins. No one knows what's in this part of the map." You could tear the edge of something off so they have there's a lot you can do in your campaign pitch trailer. That said, there has to be some brevity. You don't want to fall into the trap of giving them that thick lore document again. What casually do they need to know? Again, I'm going to hark back to the structure I talked about in how to start a campaign in my video inspired by the Las Vegas magician Jeff McBride. You want a bang start, a lyrical middle, and an ending that leaves them wanting more. End the trailer with a question. In an online game, and I use Zoom personally, I save a second copy of the trailer and I redo it as a title sequence. I add a theme tune and I put in starring and then the names of the characters, not the players, the characters. If they've used Hero Forge, I use their pictures, a sort of little montage. And at the end of the title sequence, I set it up with the cue for the recap. And this makes perfect sense because it's like previously on a television show. Starting the file running, a screen share, the music streaming across to everyone. They shut up. They can bop along to the music in their chairs and they spend that minute or so just getting into the headspace. When it comes up with previously on and the on-screen 30-second timer to get the recap done starts up, no one's first words are, "Oh, so anyway, did I show you that cat video?" I know that some of you watching this are clutching your heads in horror. What on earth is Marcus suggesting? This is more work. I don't want to do this. I have to learn how to use PowerPoint or Keynote or Google Slides. More prep. I want less prep. And if this sounds like work rather than fun, don't do it. That's my rule for prep. Do the prep that's fun. It'll be the prep you find useful and it'll get you in the right space. But there are people watching this who are going, "Oh, I could do that." If that's you, I implore you, lean into it. Give it a go. And one of the things I don't include is too much world building. Like I said, sprinkle breadcrumbs, a few ideas. Don't give them a huge, thick lore document about the backstories of everyone. If you want to know when I ask my players for backstory, you should watch this video next.